things like temperature settings and desk heights, chair heights. They're all made for the male body. And we've just kind of fit into those processes and those models. And so part of what I describe to a lot of the leaders I work with who don't understand is that corporate America is not a meritocracy. It does show up differently for different groups, and it's okay to talk about that. So that's one. Secondly, it's that women of color take on a lot of extra work and we don't understand that. So I've done some research, and when I talk to white male leaders, they'll say, I mentor 12 people. When I interview white women, they'll say I mentor, support 24 people. So 24, so 2x what the white men are mentoring. When I talk to women of color, it's often that they'll say I mentor 100, 200 women of color because there's no one else in the industry. There's no one else in the company. So everyone's coming to me, maybe not to the same extent as the 12, but I'm still doing something for such a big number of people because of that ratio. I don't think we understand how much extra work women of color take on. So that's the second thing. I think the pervasiveness of the microaggressions and the racism, when I talk to these women, they're really struggling. Someone used the word trauma, like the trauma is real. I think everyone is burnt out, but I use language that I think women of color are truly traumatized in the workplace, and there's not space to talk about that. There's a story I tell in the book that I think really speaks to this. Her name is Roxy. She was a Black woman in the Midwest. And when she joined her company, she knew she was the only Black woman in her department. 6 months in, when I interviewed her, she came to find she was the only Black woman in the entire company. And she started crying as we were talking because she said, Deepa, I don't think I understood until we were talking the weight of carrying that. She said, I change how I wear my hair, what I talk about, what I eat for lunch, like the pictures I have in my office, because I am literally the only Black person most of my white colleagues have ever met. And she said, I feel like I need to represent my race. And she did air quotes. I feel like I need to represent my race. And that was not the only woman I heard that from. And so if we're carrying the weight of that, like making sure she's like, my white colleagues have a great experience with, as the only Muslim woman or as the only Black woman, like the weight of that is heavy. And she wasn't even an HR leader or a cops person. She was an accountant, right? So this extra job, this extra layer. So I'll stop with those three, but there's a real weight. So it's making sure people understand that when I show up in the workplace, there's a different set of experiences, a different set of things I'm navigating, a different way that I am trying to make my life work that is fundamentally different. And I would say the final thing is the pressure to conform. And again, you talk about this so much. You and I have seen leaders that don't look like us growing up. We've very rarely seen leaders that look like us. And as a result, because of who we promote, who we kind of laud at the top, a lot of us end up adjusting, right? And there's a big difference between adjusting in certain points and then giving up parts of who you are. And so many of the women of color I know are struggling with how do I show up as who I want to be and who I am.
Yeah.
And so that's also like part of this conversation.